Hello, my name is Dr. Carla Stanton. I'm a family and functional medicine doctor from the UK, and I'm here with a kidney coach, just collecting some testimonials, some stories. And I've been talking here with Dennis. We've had a wonderful conversation about the changes that you've experienced as a result of combining the methods in the kidney disease solution, and a wonderful conversation. And so you're a 70-year-old retired organizational psychologist, and I'd love you like to begin perhaps just by understanding how you came to find out that you had a kidney challenge, and we'll walk through it step by step.
Yes, I mean, it came up actually a number of years ago. So I've been with the consultant nephrologist for about 12 years. So the other side of that is we've also built quite a relationship, and that's been invaluable.
Okay, great. And so you sort of said your levels had been sort of fairly stable-ish around kind of the upper 30s, the kind of low 30s, 30-ish, up until sort of 2019. And then something happened which affected your kidney health. Is that right?
Sure. I mean, what happened was that I had a very bad ear infection. Antibiotics didn't touch it. Steroids didn't touch it. And I think my kidney, as an immune system, took a real bashing. And suddenly my eGFR dropped to 21, and I was admitted to the dialysis unit.
Goodness. And so when that happened, what was your experience? How were you feeling? And what did the doctors do at that time? So
I was feeling absolutely dreadful, very, very confused, and various other things, just generally feeling unwell. And I hadn't felt that unwell, probably before. So it was quite worrying.
Okay. And so the doctors, you were admitted to the unit back in 2019. So
as an outpatient.
And so they kind of connected to support you in a kind of allopathic approach, is that right?
Yeah, and in a holistic allopathic approach. Yes. So that then gave me access to a renal kidney dietitian and a low clearance nursing team, in addition to the nephrologist. Okay. So very finely tuned.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. And so then kind of COVID came along, and so they were continuing to give you that support. And did you say your eGFR was kind of hovering around the 24-ish mark? So it's gradually creeping up a little bit. And you said that on the onset of COVID, obviously that switched to an online. And you also said that you were able to seek other support which could support your health at that time.
Sure. I mean, I think the most powerful part of the program was it meant that I could be in charge of my own health, fitness and well-being, whereas before I kind of resigned myself to being a patient. And also prior to that, I'd always been actively involved in any decisions, because would form virtual email groups with the specialist and GP, so I could participate. So it was actually quite a big sea change to suddenly feel relatively powerless and passive for someone who's been very active. And so that was an amazing benefit from the program, because it was motivating. I could have something to work towards. It was challenging, and I could actually move on to the path of continuous improvement, however much scope there was for that.
Oh, wonderful. So, and that was really just 6 months ago that you came across the kidney coach. Is that right, Dennis? That you started you downloaded the program and you started to do follow the regime, the Nana's teas, the supplements, and also the holistic life changes that it also supports in that program. Perhaps you could speak a bit more to those changes.
Sure. I mean, there are really three sorts of prongs to that. Number one is that I started mindfulness. At the time, the Oxford mindfulness session centre was offering free mindfulness sessions globally. So it was quite a community. So that was very useful and helpful and informative. And also with mindfulness, you bring it into other areas of your life. So another thing I did was I joined a walk and talk group in ancient woodland. So you could actually be mindful in nature. And then on the aerobic side, I started Aquazumba. So it's the balance of all these things, which I think is quite a good program. And I changed my diet originally to become vegetarian, but now I have one meat meal a week from the protein point of view.
Okay, wonderful. And so that journey's been, just really 6 months you've been able to create those changes. And so how do you feel now, sort of six months on in your body?
Restored to quite a large extent, renewed to quite a large extent, and also I feel much more positive about life, and that I'm better equipped to meet the challenges, and so there's been quite a lot of psychological improvement, because I mentioned I have suffered from depression, and there was the danger of that with the combination of the isolation. So it was very timely, because that's quite a big health issue for me, and it's very beneficial in that respect.
Amazing. And so so you told me that your eGFR has actually come up quite well in that last 6 months too, from sort of,
I mean, yeah, because of the relationship I've had with my GP and my consultant nephrologist, and having had the virtual teams, they were open to running an experiment with me where I combined the allopathic and naturopathic. So I brought the two programs together. And so, in fairness, I think it's the combination that's delivered the results.
And you said that it's around sort of 28, 30, your eGFR now is hovering around that.
And when I started the experiment, my consultant said she'd be very satisfied as a goal to stabilize around the 24 mark. Wow. And at the time, I was a bit more ambitious and wanted to shoot for around about 30 and moving into stage 4. It's just now I always get the stages mixed up. Stage 3.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And that's a great jump, compared to what she had anticipated. And you said that your urea markers have also really improved. Your urea's kind of halved, really, hasn't it, from 14.6 to 7.1.
I mean, my renal dietitian, sort of the last time we spoke, she sort of said, to be honest, I wasn't sure whether it would have much impact. And she actually finds the results inspirational. So I think that's good for you to know, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's really great feedback. Wonderful that, that you're getting the support from the conventional team, but they're also, you're creating you're managing to increase their expectations of what's possible, and we're all learning together by measuring and taking it step by step, by becoming the scientist and doing these things and measuring it. And so thank you for putting all that effort in and supporting yourself. And what have you kind of learned through this process, do you think, in the last sort of 6 months? What have you found?
I think a lot of it's attitudinal. And it's really just the empowerment is the big thing. And all the things that link in with that. Because if you're passive, you're a patient, you don't feel you're in control of your life. And it's actually quite scary. Not only having that dependency on other people, but also not having that participation, which I think participating in decisions that affect ourselves is absolutely critical to our well-being.
Yeah, that's wonderful, share. Thank you. Thanks for that wisdom. And okay, so if someone's watching this right now and they are just considering some other options, looking into what else is a possibility for them, maybe they've just been diagnosed with a kidney challenge, or they're seeking something else, what would be some advice that you would share with them?
Well, what I'd say is your resources and support is excellent. And teaching, stick with it, follow the videos, and don't give up.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I know it's a big changes that that you've made and that many of our participants make, but goodness, the results are really exciting and empowering. So thank you for taking that time for you and sticking with it. So
thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, such a pleasure chatting with you today. Do keep us posted on your numbers, on your journey, and we'll keep connecting. And yes, lovely chatting with you today. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Lovely to meet, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.